Welcome everyone. Well, we're here on beautiful Norris Lake, finally. We're going to try to do a little night fishing, some crappie and walleye, and we'll see how it goes. So y'all stick around. Well guys, we finally got anchor down and set up here. It's about a half hour after dark now, but it takes some time to set up. Get anchor down, get the lanterns out, get your rods ready, let the lake settle down a little bit with all this boat traffic. So we'll try to do some fishing. Well, starts out a little bit. We'll get a few hits here and there, but just little old bitty things. We're trying to get the shad up. It's still a little bit early. Them little old stripe, they mess up everything you got. They're just a nuisance. But at least we're catching some fish. Well, we're starting to get into some crappie now. There ain't much size to them. Some of them we have to throw back. They got to be 10 inches to keep them here on Norris Lake, and you only allowed 10 apiece. So some we keep, and some just won't make it on the measuring stick, so we have to throw them back. And you don't want to kill these little things. They're so precious. I cut my hook off just to save them, so sometimes they swallow the hook. And as we get the shad up, they start getting a little bit bigger. We're fishing about 20 foot deep and 75 foot of water. It's just a lot of fun. They're kind of slow, kind of hitting a little slow tonight. They're not hitting aggressively. They'll put slack in your line like they just grab the minnow and sit there with it. So it's hard to tell if you got a hit or not when you got 3 or 4 rods out. But you try my best not to kill them if I no more than have to. Usually just cut the hook off if it's up down in their bellies there, down in their throat. And them little old stripe, like I said, they're more of a nuisance. They'll hit on one rod on one end of the boat, take it across the end to the other rod on the other end of the boat, cross every line you got, around the minnow buckets, around the anchor rope. And if you've done a lot of night fishing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They are a nuisance. And this water is about 84 degrees surface temp, so they come up kind of sluggish when they get in this warm water up on top. Try to net them, because when you're in a pontoon boat, you got to pull them 2-3 foot up out of the water. And you don't want them to break off. It ain't like a bass boat or a john boat. Here's a pretty good keeper here. The moon's finally come up, and they start picking up. I guess the pressure rises a little bit. It's a beautiful moon. Good calm night. So relaxing. Now here, I'm going to show you the kind of fishing we're doing. This is summertime fishing, anchored down. When the water gets real warm, these fish are kind of get suspended out in the channels, away from the banks, out in the main channels. And it's kind of like they call it a thermocline line. That's where the hot water's on top and the cold water's down. So if you ever went swimming, you swim down, the water's kind of cold down below your feet, if you noticed. So this here is just show you about what you're doing here. Them fish like to stay right at the edge of that thermal line. So if you get your shad up, they'll be right up underneath them. Now these old crappie, basically what we're fishing is just like ice fishing. Of course, there's no ice to fish around here ever in Tennessee. But right around here, we use these what we call Hopkins spoons or manor lures, and you jig like a shad that's wounded. Now they'll catch these old crappie, and these crappies got paper mouths. They're easy to tear, and you can grasp them when you catch one. But now, these walleye here, you don't grab them by the mouth. You grab them around the body or around the gill, because they will tear your fingers off. Grab one of them and let them sit down on your thumb and wiggle. You just don't do that. But they are good eating, I'm telling you, good eating. Let's get back to some fishing here. We're catching a few more crappie. My son Jason here is fishing with me. There's a nice crappie. Sometimes I got this camera. It's kind of trying to film and fish too is kind of hard. Right here, they get all wrapped up and twisted. But they hit pretty good. That takes spells. They'll hit good for an hour or two, and you can't keep all your rods in the water. And then it'll slow down to where they won't hit at all. Then all at once they'll pick back up. But they're under the school of that shad. You're trying to get the net instead of pulling it up there and it pop off the hook there. They do it real easy. You got to pull them up so high out of the water on a pontoon. You'll catch these little ones right amongst the big ones. So, just part of it. That one got off. Now here you like to do jigging. You use the same kind of lures you would as an ice fishing in a hole. Just jigging. Just jigging just like a little minnow or a shad or something. They'll hit the same way as ice fishing. Just get down below that thermocline line. Just jig it. And they'll hit it as good as they will live bait. But they ain't nothing better than live bait, I'll tell you. It's a good moon out tonight. Now here's the biggest one of the night. It measured about 14 inches. Most of them was about 10 or 12 that we killed. So, hope y'all enjoyed. That sure is a pretty bridge. I've got a bass fish under that for sure. Heading in is such a beautiful sunrise. Beautiful. You can't tell what's sky and what's water. The guys who caught about 25, kept about 12. The rest of them was too short. Now we did catch one walleye, but I messed up on the filming it, so it was too little to keep anyway. So I all thank you all for watching and hope you enjoyed.